FedEx contracts have changed very similarly to UPS. In fact, that overmax fee with UPS, which increased, is actually called an unauthorized charge fee with FedEx. It's the same thing. It's for packages that are heavy and large. And with FedEx, that charge went from $300 up to $675. So they're slightly more expensive than UPS now, but both fees are exorbitant, and they're things that you have to keep an eye on if you are shipping large or heavy items. In addition to that, they took a very similar rate increase to UPS, which is just around 4.9% on average. But how that actually impacts your spend is always going to vary because it's an average increase. So in certain surcharges, that percentage of increase is actually higher than the 4.9, and some it's less. It's very important to understand how that average increase would affect your overall spend. A rate impact analysis is really important for understanding how your FedEx rates are going to increase or decrease from year to year, because what you're essentially doing is you're taking the published increase that FedEx has set out for the different surcharges and base rates applied to your shipping, and they're marking those up from year to year. And what we do here at Lojistic is we analyze your historical shipping data to know, with these new rates in effect, how would they have increased or decreased your same shipments from the year before. Assessing the rate health of your FedEx contracts is it's important, but it's a pretty simple process. Essentially, what you're hoping to do is you're hoping to gain an understanding of where you are now, which is your rates, your incentives, your surcharges, and how those match up against other shippers of similar size and spend. So essentially, you don't know what you don't know. So when you have someone to help you understand where you are and the competitive nature amongst other shippers of your size, it lets you know if there's room to grow or whether you're performing great on your own. By utilizing a company like Lojistic, who obviously does a multitude of services, but most importantly is the data analytics when it comes to understanding your rate health of your contract. The analytics and the data and the speed at which we can understand your spend and over a large number of shipments and characteristics, understand how those match up amongst thousands of other shippers, that makes it very, very easy for you to understand your overall costs without having to go out and poll thousands of companies of what they spent on their shipping. Another major key when I talk about understanding where you are now is understanding that when you go into a negotiation with the carrier, one of the knee-jerk reactions is to say, we'd like to reduce our cost by 10%. The hard part about that is that your spend is actually distributed across over 100 points in your shipper profile. So understanding what points are going to drive cost reduction is really, really important for you. It could be transportation charges, it could be dozens of surcharges, or it could be fuel and accessorials that you haven't really necessarily worried about in the past. All of these things have an impact on your spend, and knowing what those things will do to your spend is going to be crucial in asking for the right concessions in a negotiation with the carrier.